That's perfectly valid if it's just for entertainment. If you can entertain and educate, that's better. And if you can entertain, educate, and elevate.
Mel Gibson built one of the most legendary careers Hollywood had ever seen. From unforgettable blockbusters like Braveheart, Lethal Weapon, and The Passion of the Christ, he became a symbol of cinematic excellence, intense storytelling, and box office dominance. Audiences admired his rugged charisma, critics praised his versatility, and studios trusted him to deliver hit after hit. But in the summer of 2006, everything changed in a matter of hours. A late-night traffic stop on the Pacific Coast Highway transformed one of Hollywood's biggest stars into the center of one of the entertainment industry's most explosive scandals. Born on January 3, 1956, in Peekskill, Mel Gerard Gibson grew up in a deeply religious Irish-American Catholic household. He was the sixth of 11 children raised by Hutton and Ann Gibson, parents who strongly valued discipline, faith, and family tradition. Mel's unusual names came from Irish saints, reflecting the family's strong cultural roots. Even before fame, creativity surrounded him. His grandmother was an opera singer, and his grandfather built a successful business in the tobacco industry. Everything changed for the Gibson family in 1968. After Mel's father received a $145,000 settlement from a workplace injury lawsuit, the family made a bold decision to leave America behind and move halfway across the world to New South Wales. Part of the motivation was to protect Mel's older brother from the Vietnam War draft, but the move would end up shaping Mel's future forever. Australia became the place where Mel Gibson discovered acting. He attended St. Leo's Catholic College before enrolling at the National Institute of Dramatic Art in Sydney. During his training, he quickly gained attention for his talent and stage presence. One of his classmates was future actress Judy Davis, and together they performed in productions like Romeo and Juliet. Even in theater school, people could sense Gibson had something special. After graduating in 1977, Mel began taking small acting jobs just to survive. His first movie role earned him only a few $100s, but then came the opportunity that changed his life forever. In 1979, he starred in Mad Max, a low-budget Australian action film that paid him around $9,000. Nobody expected the movie to become a global phenomenon. Yet the gritty post-apocalyptic thriller exploded internationally and turned Gibson into an overnight sensation. Soon after, Mel cemented himself as a rising star with performances in Gallipoli and the growing Mad Max franchise. Hollywood quickly noticed him. Critics compared his charisma to legendary actors like Steve McQueen and Clark Gable. By the mid-1980s, America came calling. Mel's Hollywood breakthrough arrived with The River, but his true superstardom exploded in 1987 when he played Martin Riggs in Lethal Weapon. The role transformed him into one of the world's biggest action stars. Audiences loved his mix of humor, danger, and emotional vulnerability. The success of the franchise made him a box office king almost instantly. Throughout the late 1980s and 1990s, Gibson dominated Hollywood with hit after hit. He starred in Tequila Sunrise, Bird on a Wire, Air America, and Hamlet, proving he was more than just an action hero. He could handle serious drama, romance, and comedy equally well. Films like Forever Young, Maverick, and What Women Want only strengthened his superstar status. But Gibson wanted more than acting. He wanted creative control. Through his company Icon Productions, Mel stepped behind the camera and became a director. His first major directing triumph came with Braveheart, the epic historical drama that won the Academy Award for Best Picture and earned Gibson the Oscar for Best Director. Suddenly, he wasn't just a movie star anymore. He was considered one of Hollywood's elite filmmakers. Then came the project that changed everything. In 2004, Gibson released The Passion of the Christ, a deeply personal and controversial film depicting the final hours of Jesus Christ. Shot almost entirely in Aramaic and Latin, the film stunned audiences with its graphic violence and emotional intensity. Religious groups praised it as powerful and moving, while critics accused it of historical inaccuracies and anti-Semitic themes. Despite the backlash, the film became a massive box office phenomenon, earning hundreds of millions worldwide and becoming one of the highest-grossing R-rated films ever made. But the controversy surrounding the movie never fully disappeared. The film also dramatically affected the career of its star, Jim Caviezel. Before the movie, Caviezel had been a rising Hollywood talent. Afterward, he claimed his mainstream career slowed dramatically. According to Caviezel, Gibson even warned him before filming started, saying, "You may never work in this town again." At the height of his success, Gibson seemed untouchable. By the early 2000s, he was earning record-breaking salaries and starring in huge hits like Signs and The Patriot. But behind the scenes, personal struggles were quietly building. On July 28, 2006, everything came crashing down. Just after 2 a.m., Gibson was pulled over in Malibu for speeding at 87 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone. Officers administered a breathalyzer test, and Gibson's blood alcohol level came back over the legal limit. But the DUI arrest itself wasn't what shocked the world most. During the arrest, Gibson reportedly launched into a series of anti-Semitic remarks that immediately made international headlines. The fallout was instant and brutal. Jewish organizations condemned him. Hollywood executives distanced themselves. One of the industry's biggest stars suddenly became one of its most controversial figures. Months later, Gibson sat down with Diane Sawyer in a highly publicized interview on ABC News. During the emotional conversation, he apologized for his comments and called them despicable. He blamed alcohol for the outburst and described the comments as the meaningless ramblings of a drunk man. Gibson admitted he had relapsed after years of sobriety and described alcoholism as a disease that constantly threatened to destroy his life. He eventually pleaded no contest to the DUI charge and received probation along with mandatory rehabilitation. But even after the legal consequences ended, the damage to his reputation continued. Then came another devastating scandal. In 2010, leaked audio recordings involving Gibson and his former girlfriend Oksana Grigorieva shocked the public yet again. The tapes captured Gibson screaming abusive and offensive remarks during heated arguments. The recordings spread across the internet rapidly and reignited outrage against him. The breakup became one of Hollywood's ugliest legal battles. Grigorieva accused Gibson of domestic violence and obtained a restraining order. Gibson later admitted he slapped her during one confrontation but denied causing serious injuries. Regardless of the details, public opinion turned against him once more. Hollywood reacted swiftly. His powerful agency dropped him, studios avoided him, and even comedy films like The Hangover Part 2 removed him after backlash from cast and crew members. Gibson's once unstoppable career appeared completely shattered. Old allegations also resurfaced during this period. Actress Winona Ryder publicly claimed Gibson made anti-Semitic and homophobic remarks toward her and a friend during a party years earlier. Gibson's representatives strongly denied the accusations, but the stories added further damage to his already collapsing public image. For several years, Gibson struggled to regain acceptance in mainstream Hollywood. He continued acting in smaller projects, often playing villains or controversial characters. Many believed his career would never fully recover. But slowly, things began to change. In 2016, Gibson directed Hacksaw Ridge, a critically acclaimed war drama that earned multiple Academy Award nominations and reminded audiences of his extraordinary talent behind the camera. The success of the film marked the beginning of a slow comeback. At the same time, Gibson's personal life continued making headlines. He became the father of 9 children through different relationships and remained a constant target for tabloids and media speculation. His long relationship with screenwriter Rosalind Ross eventually ended, placing him back into public discussions about his private life once again. Despite everything, Mel Gibson refused to disappear. He continued directing, producing, and acting while trying to rebuild both his career and reputation. Some people saw him as a deeply flawed man battling addiction and personal demons. Others believed the damage caused by his words and behavior could never truly be undone. Still, his impact on Hollywood remains impossible to ignore. From Mad Max to Braveheart, from blockbuster superstardom to public disgrace, Mel Gibson's life has become one of the entertainment industry's most dramatic stories. His journey includes extraordinary success, devastating controversy, personal collapse, and an ongoing search for redemption. Some fans will always remember him as the fearless warrior of Braveheart or the wild action hero from Lethal Weapon. Others will forever connect his name to the scandals that nearly destroyed his career. But regardless of public opinion, Mel Gibson remains one of Hollywood's most complicated and controversial figures. And even after decades of fame, controversy, redemption attempts, and personal struggles, his story still continues to captivate audiences around the world. What's your favorite Mel Gibson movie of all time? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Prestige Buzz, and hit the bell notification so you never miss another deep dive into Hollywood's biggest legends, scandals, and untold stories.